Hello and welcome to Stoke to Glory. Essentially, I've done a whole career mode on FC25 with the premise that I can only score from corners, crosses and long throws or hoofballs. Now, I did a financial takeover to give myself half a chance since I was playing on world-class difficulty. I chose a manager with a hat to look like Tony Pulis. And here's what I brought in. Benjamin Sesko, aerial ability up front. Maguire, we all know about him. Soucek, tall, aerial ability. This chap had a long throw as well as pace at right back. Trent, as we know, one of the best crossers in the world for the crossing headers. Sidibe, very tall, CDM, 6'7", no questions asked. Left back, pace, long throw. Right wing, pace, good crossing ability. And Netta, tall, beast, striker. Archie Brown, pacey, winger, long throw. Nopper, about 6'12", goalkeeper if we ever need him up for a corner. Sommers, long throw, good crossing ability on the wing with enough pace. And here's how the team looks. And Netta and Sesko up top with Brown at left wing. Soucek in the CDM alongside Trent Alexander-Arnold. We've got that Hurat guy at right wing with some pace and crossing ability. We've got that chap at right back for the pace and long throwing ability. Sidibe we've slapped at centre back with the 6 foot plus height, along with Maguire, the left back that's got a long throw and a bit of pace, and then our really tall goalkeeper to do a job for us. And then on the bench we've got a few players that've got like long throw ability, there's a bit of height in there, a bit of aerial ability in there, some sort of crossing and pace on the wing if we need it. And I think overall it gives us a chance of trying to get the goals we need with long throws, crossing, hoofballs, etc. on a FIFA/FC, which I don't think is that renowned for being able to be that OP when it comes to that sort of thing. So we played Coventry in our first game. Here's a taste of things to come. Long throw in, power header, it's gone wide. Corner, cross into the box, header, over the bar. You're going to be seeing a lot of this in the little series I put together here. Cross into the box, nod down, and Netta, goal. First goal on the career mode against Coventry. We go 1-0 up. Essentially, we're trying to get promoted to the Prem, I think, on this series. That's the mission. 1-0 up. However, up the other end, Coventry go, equalise, 1-1. Is that Haji Wright, I believe? Good player. On the wing, cross into the box. Unfortunately, my keeper comes absolutely nowhere. 2-1 Cov. And I think first game of the career mode, we can't be losing. We hoof one upfield. We flick it on with Sesko. That counts as a hoofball flick on. We take that counts for the Stoke premise. We go through with Netta. Do we have the composure to finish it? Yes, we do. By the way, Netta, spoiler alert, he is a hero in this series. Knee slide celebration, 2-2, goalkeeper celebrating like Joe Hart when they won the Premier League. And we get a point on the board to start off the little, I call it a series, it's basically just a whole career mode. Birmingham, next match, goes through on goal. My defending is horrific, get absolutely pace abused and my slow defenders. And that was like a 3-0 loss. And basically at this point I was like, I need to drop deeper because I'm getting pace abused. So we go into the next game, I lose 2-0 to Watford, end of story. I was still struggling to get used to how to win these games. Stoke v West Brom next game, so there's a highlight here. Is that promising? Corner, header, over the bar. I think that was Hazard Maguire. And we lost 2-0. So we got off to a slow start in this career mode as I was trying to work out how to win games with the hoofball technique. Away to Plymouth, so we're 1-0 down here. We pick up the ball. We dink one in to Sesh and he bicycle kicks it in. I counted that because it was like, I was trying to loft it into him for like a header or something. He ended up bicycle kicking it. I can't control these things. But then out wide we go. We cross one into the box. Now that's a header. Keeper saves. We got the rebound last second of the game. And Netta again getting the job done to get us a 2-1 win, to get us the 3 points, to give us a chance of progressing up the table. Now a bit of sort of transfer history towards the end of the window. I brought in this chap, by the way, really tall striker. This chap was a tall defender that was also really pacey because we needed some pace. Left back Wanderson, I think he had a long throw and a bit of pace and good crossing. Eze really tall again for a centre back or CDM option. And with a little bit of juggling, some of these players are going to come into the team and also are going to be very useful enablers, which as the series goes on we find out the injuries rack up and we do need to have some strength in depth. So this Trory guy, by the way, power header trait, he's really tall. I saw someone else do a similar series and they picked this guy, so I kind of copied him a bit, but he comes straight into the starting 11 with Netta as a bit of a super sub for now. cross into the box, Chowry saved, but it shows what this guy can offer and it shows what he could do for us in this series. Again, into Chowry, not quite this time, but on a 0-0 draw, there were signs there that I can get some crosses, I can get some goals, get the points. Now, Stoke at home to Hull, that was clearly poor editing. I think I basically lost the clip, but the gist of it was we lost 2-0. Stoke away to Middlesbrough. How do we do in this game? We really need to get some points on the board because we've struggled to start the series with. Cross into the box, volley, post, rebound, goal. We take it. It was a cross. You know, we're hoping for a header. We got a volley. You know, corner. Did we get a header this time? Bang, off the bar with Chowry, rebound. Keeper tips it behind. This is now what, like the 90th minute of the game at 1-1. We cross the corner into the box. And Harry Maguire bangs it in off that big slab head for a 90th minute goal. The knee slide is absolutely justified. We've seen this man do it in real life time and time again. We get the 2-1 win away to Borough to get some huge points on the board in a very tricky fixture. Now, next game, it looks like we're coming up against Pompey. 90th minute, it's 0-0. Can we get a result? Cross into the box. Yes, we can. Benji Seshko for a 1-0 win. More points on the board. More chance of getting up the table. Away to Swansea next game. Here's how the table's looking. So we're very much mid-table. We're still in the mixer to try and get, playoffs. We just lost the game there, didn't we? As in, like, no footage. I think we got a draw or something. Anyway, next game. Diving header Seshko against Norwich. This put us 1-1 in the game. But then up the other end he went. Banged it past my keeper towards the end of the game. Harry Sargent. Not good. 2-1 to Norwich, unfortunately. Then went home to Bristol next game. Out wide it goes. Seshko gets the ball. Plays it down the line to someone. Crosses it in. Diving header. Chowry. 1-0. We get the win, 3 points on the board. Again, it keeps us in the running for the promotion we're hoping for. Stoke away to Sheffield next game. How do we do? Down the line, I think, is that Sommers? What does he do? Crosses one into the box. Power header Chowry. It wasn't so much a power header, but it was a good header, guided header. We're still mid-table. We got the... Was that either a win or a loss? Not quite sure. Either way, next game, home to Derby. This is what we do. Seshko into Chowry, volley, goal. We're hoping for a diving header, but it's good enough. We get the win. The intent was there for the hoofball, you know, header, etc. 0-0 next game away to Blackburn. No highlights to show there. Home to Millwall in the next game. How do we do in this one? It's a lofted ball. It's a flick-on header. We count those as Stoke ball. We go through and goal with Benji Seshko. Can he finish? Yes, he can. 1-0 against Millwall. Next game. Lofted ball into the box. It's not next game. It's the next highlight. It's the next goal. I think that's their netter again, the legend, for 2-0 against Millwall. We're lofting the ball again. We're flicking it on again. And we're burying it again with Benji Seshko. We may have found a strat here on the series to win games. 3-0 Stoke. The hoofball flick-on technique is working. Up to 10th in the table. Next game, away from QPR. This is a one-take wonder if you hadn't told. Hopefully I'm going to last it through. Cross into the box. Great header. Great goal. 1-0 at QPR. We're finding some momentum. Look at the state of that header, swerving into the back of the net. I don't even know how you swerve a header, but we get the 1-0 win. More points on the board. Seshko man of the match. Home to Preston. We do a massive crossfield ball, so we're 1-0 down here, but 10 men Preston. Trent Alexander-Arnold chips it in, and it's that nod down, bang goal that's working for us very, very nicely. Shuri celebrates. We get the 1-1 draw, I think, right at the end of the game there. Another point on the board. We're up to 9th now, so we're looking okay. Home to Burnley next. We're doing well in the league. We get a 0-0 draw. We take it. We take the point. We move on. Next game, I believe we're away to Sunderland there. It's a snowy day. Can that work well for the hoofball Stoke? Chip into the box. Flick-ons. You know the rest. Goal. 1-0. We get on the board. And we win the game 1-0. Another massive 3 points for the club to send us in the right direction. We're 8th now, and we're away to Luton. Here's what happens. We're 0-0 at this point. We hoof it. We flick it on. And what do we do next? We chip it back into the box in the reverse, and we get the goal. That is Stoke play. There's a flick on in there. We cross it back. We get the goal. It counts. Fake shot down the line. Swingage. Header. Great goal in at the near post for 2-0. I think it ended 2-1 there, so we still get the 3 points. We get the win. Happy days. Up to 7th now. We're looking all right. We're approaching into those playoff positions. Next game, Stoke home to Cardiff. How do we get on? As you can see on the scoreline, 2-0 down. They wriggle through and they make it 3-0. We just struggled this game. It was pace abuse. There were certain games I just couldn't handle the attackers, and we lost 4-0. That was one of them, I'm afraid. Next game, away to Sheffield. How do we get on? They pick up the ball. It's not looking promising. It's a great strike, and it's 1-0 to Sheffield. But from the corner, we swing it in. Harry Maguire again. What a legend off the slab head. 1-1. And then right towards the end, 80th minute, we cross it in. We nod it down. We bang it in the goal. That counts. It was a cross. It was a layoff. It was using the strength of the big man. It's a 2-1 win. Sheffield, we take it. Next game, home to Leeds. Can we get the points we need? But it's not looking good. Leeds into the box. Dink over the tall keeper. How have they even chipped him? 5-0 Leeds. Crumbs. I didn't know it was that bad. Destroyed. Next game, home to Sunderland. How do we get on? It's down the line. And I think it probably means they score, doesn't it? Keeper saves, scrappy defending for myself. They get the goal. It's unfortunate. 1-0 win to Sunderland. It's another setback, unfortunately, for us. Next game, away to Burnley, who are flying in the league. It looks like a tough game on paper. And in reality, it looks like it's going to be a tough game. Keeper saves, but not very well. Straight back to the player goal, 1-0. We lose the game. So we're on a bit of a slump here. We need to get some points back on the board. Stoke at home to Plymouth. We're down to 11th. Can we get a result? Trent Alexander-Arnold, we're down the line. We cross it in. Seshko! Bang! Power header. Goal. 1-0. This point, I think they've got the corner. Are they going to try and play us our own game here? They cross it in. They head it in. They do us our own game. 1-1. They've got the ball again. This doesn't look promising. I hope my mic's not crackling, otherwise we're screwed. Goal, near post. 2-1. Do we get back? No, we don't. We lose 2-1, so we're on a horrific run at this point. We're really throwing things away. And then we've got home to Arsenal in the FA Cup, which is not the sort of fix you need when you want to bounce back in the league. But can we go on a cup run with the mighty Stoke? We're usually the Achilles heel of Arsenal. No, Martinelli, 7-0. We don't need to see all of the highlights. I got destroyed. I couldn't handle them. Away to West Brom, next game. We really need to get back on track in the league here. Seshko plays it down the line. Brown, you know what's coming. It's going to be a cross. It's a back stick cross, and it's a back stick header. It's a back post header. It's a 1-0 lead. Down the line now with, I think, Sommers. How do we get on here? We cross it into the box, and we sort of slide one home. It counts. We take it. 2-0 to the mighty Stoke, away to West Brom. Next game, home to Oxford. We're 12th now. What happens? Oxford on the ball. That's never promising. Bang, pass Noppert. 1-0. But, look, we've got the ball here with Trenty Alexander-Arnold. Flick on, Seshko, into, I think, Chowry. Across the keeper. 1-1. Do we get any more than that? No, but at least it's a point on the board. We've broken the bad run. Hull, home to Stoke, next game. Can we get a much-needed win? Well, let's see the highlights. They get into the box. They score a goal. It's 1-0 Hull. We get it down the line, though. We do a fake shot. We cross it in surely. Back post headers. Yes, Seshko. Great header. 1-1. But now what's coming next? They're on the attack. That's never a good sign. Bang, near post. 2-1 Hull. And we lose the game 2-1. So we've really had a difficult run here, haven't we? Away to Bristol. Come on, lads. We need to get back on track here. It's a snowy game. Surely that suits us. We love the flick on goals. And we get the flick on goals. What a finish, by the way. That is by Benji Seshko. But then up the other end in the second half, we cross one in. Chowry! 2-0 at the back stick. And we get the ball again. Do we add further insult to injury against Bristol? We cross it in with Sommers. We head it with Seshko, I believe. 3-0. It's a perfect masterclass Stoke game. We get the 3-0 win. Some lovely crosses, flick-ons, etc. Now we're home to Swansea. We really need a result. It's the 92nd minute. It's 0-0. Big goal kick. Flick on. Flick on. We're through on goal with Seshko. And can we finish it? Yes, we can. 1-0. We're back in the game. We're back in the promotion race. Seshko goes absolutely crazy, and rightly so. We needed that win desperately. The big goal kick and double flick on was huge for us. Desperately needed win. The crowd go absolutely wild. The definition of limbs right there. And we have a chance again. We get the win 1-0 home to Swansea. Let's get the momentum going. But we're playing Norwich. We know it's going to be a difficult game. But down the line, we cross it in. We nod it down. You know what comes next. Finish. We love these flick-ons. We love these nod downs. We're finding ways of winning games with the Stoke style of play. However, just a really annoying goal of Harry Sargent, who I think did us in the first fixture as well, and we get the 1-1. That was a real blow, that game. We wanted the win there, but we're home to Middlesbrough. We're still going. We're 13th. We're still in the mix of just about. Down the line, cut back, sweaty goal. We fail to clear, 1-0. But then, with the goalkeeper, we throw it long. We're getting towards the end of the game here, and we somehow break through on goal. Their defence has just given up. I don't know what's happened. They've all gone forward for a second goal. But you know we're going to have to do some kind of cross to justify the Stoke way of playing. And we do. We cross in. Netta, diving header. Netta, I told you this man tells stories in this series. What a diving header to get the 1-1 draw last minute of the game. Now we're home to Watford. We're 12th in the league. Again, we're needing the points, aren't we? But how do we do? Bang, 1-0 near post to Watford. Not a good start. Watford again get the ball. What happens here? Bang, great finish, 2-0. We're already on the back foot. And with the Stoke style of play, it's so hard to come back from a 2-0 deficit, I'm telling you. But the flick on is there. The goal is there. There is hope. We're 2-1 and it's the 27th minute. But straight back up the other end while the hope is there. Do they destroy the hope? They play it out wide. They're knocking it around really nicely, Watford. I'm finding it hard to defend against. Awful goalkeeping, unfortunately. And it's 3-1 Watford. Down the line to the player. Finesse goal. 4-1. At this point, I just think I'm cooked. Like, it's so hard to score goals with this style of football. But look, we flick it on down the line. Of course we're going to cross it in. It's a good cross this time. All right, Seshko volleys it, but we wanted the header. It was the right intent. We take it. We're back in the game. But again, at the other end, this is second half now. Watford, poor keeping again, straight back into his path. He scores the goal. It's 5-2 at this point. And again, to add insult to injury, keeper stranded, cross, header, goal, playing us at our own game. They're toying with us at this point, really. 6-2 Watford, away to Cov. We need a result. Here's what happens. Pick up the ball, nod it into the box, flick it on again. You know we love flick-ons. We found a way of winning games. 1-0 up. However, look, Moffat saves it. Why is this clip in there? Maybe it's because it's a save that then results in a counter-attack. We head it down, Stoke way of play. We chip it up, we flick it on, Stoke way of play. Benji Seshko, good finish, never in doubt. 2-0. It's a much better game from us. We're looking good at this point. We then get the ball, we flick it up. You know what's happening. We're going to try and do a flick on of some sort, surely. Here it goes, the flick on through to, I think, Benji Sesh. 3-0, happy days. Next one, we do a great tackle. Are we going to chip it for a flick on? Of course we are. Chips from El Meta to flick on to Seshko to bang into the bins. It's a 4-0 Stoke masterclass. And the flick-ons again are proving their worth in this series. 13th in the table, but we're only, 6 points off the playoffs. There's still a chance we can do this. We're home to Blackburn. We're down the line. Of course we're going to cross it, but we get wiped out while taking the cross. Now, I deliberately missed some penalties earlier in this series, transparently, because I was like, I can't score penalties of Stoke, but we're running down the line for a cross. I've put the keeper on it as a compromise, and he puts in the penalty for 1-0. We need the points. You can't just miss a penalty when you're running down the line to try and do a crossed header anyway, and it's huge. The goalie celebrates. We know we need a result in this game, and we do get the 1-0 win. Goalkeeper the hero, penalty, clean sheet, 3 points on the board, much needed. Away to Millwall next game. It's a corner, though. They're surely not going to try and play us our own game, are they? They do. Header from the corner, from the short corner. It's 1-0 Millwall, but we get our own corner. We swing it in. We bury the header with Sommers, the right winger that has a bit of height on him. And then 1-1, I think, what is this, 80-odd minute? We swing in the corner. Can we carbon copy? Yes, we can. Sommers, the absolute hero. 2-1 at Millwall, a tricky place to go. What on earth is that celebration? But we take it, we get the 2-1 win. It's another 3 points on the board, a huge 3 points. We're up to 9th now, and we're home to QPR, who are 21st in the league, but we get a 0-0 draw. But it's another point on the board. Next game, away to Preston, we're still 9th. How are we going to get on in this one? Short corner. Are they going to play us at our own game? No, we nick it from the corner. And look, my players got acres of space to run into. Their defence is just completely folded. What's even going on? It's like their controller's turned off and they can't even run. But of course, we're going to have to run it to the byline for a cross. We time the cross, draw the keeper out, header, goal. 1-0 at Preston. Do we get any more in this game? Oh no, they pick up the ball. They play it into this chap. They play it into this chap. Scuffs, blocks, fails, goal, deflected goal, 1-1. But Sommers on the wing, swings one in, header, Souček, good win in the midfield. Down the line, Brown, it's the 70th minute. We swing one in, diving header. Is that Mneta again? Absolute legend in the series. 2-1. Look at this giant throw. Bang, Stoke style of football. Bang, header, Mneta off the post. I was really keen to score a long throw in this series. That was the closest I think we've come. But then Preston with an absolute screamer, the biggest sucker punch screamer, not defending well enough. But then look, giant throw. We're going to flick this on surely. Yes, we are. Into the path of Mneta. 3-2. Again, the legend Mneta does it for us. And a giant throw came into handy with the goal. It's 3-2 now. We've got the ball. We're flicking it up to the forward. We're flicking it on and we're smashing in a worldy finish. I believe with Seshko. 4-2. And he's rightfully celebrating with the knee slide there. We get the 4-2 win at Preston. It's a huge win for us. There's some nice goals in there with the Stoke style of play. We're 9th, we're home to Luton. Can we get back-to-back wins? Flick on with Seshk. Mneta, what are we going to do here? We play it through. Surely we're going to have to cross it again for the Stoke style of play. Of course we are. Okay, he volleys it in, but the intent was there. We wanted the header, we got the volley. We tried our best. We're not going to rub off the goal for that. Up the other end, Luton. It's awful defending for myself. I just can't get it clear. And they try and bury it, but I put in a horrible tackle with, I believe, Eze. They take the pen quickly, and it goes past my keeper. He should be saving that at that height, but anyways, it's 1-1 at this point. But then look, into the second half, we swing it upfield. Surely it's flick-ons. You know it's flick-ons. And we bury it with Mneta. Great finish. Mneta again doing the business. 2-1 at home to Luton. And we get the win. We're now 9th still. We're away to Cardiff. We are needing points though still in these games, but Cardiff have the ball, which is never a good sign. On my limited highlights, they cross it in and they scuff it past Noppert. Poor keeping really, and the game finished 1-0, and that was a real blow in the momentum. At this point, we're now playing Sheffield Wednesday. We do need to win. These are becoming must-win games, must get points, but they get into the box. They smash it past the keeper. It's 1-0. However, we get the ball. We chip it up. Is it a flick on? It's a flick on out wide. Of course it's a flick on. Sommers, great finish. 1-1. Do we get any more than that though? We will find out. We do, potentially. We're down the line. It's the 90th minute. We cross it in. What a header with Benji Seshko right into the far bins. He celebrates like mad. Of course he does. It keeps the promotion bid alive. We get the 2-1 win. Another crucial 3 points on the board. We're 9th place. We're only, 5 points off 6th in the playoff with, I believe, a game in hand. It's still very much to play for, but we come up against Leeds. Great sliding tackle from them. They go down the line. This is the 83rd minute now. Unbelievable save from Noppert, like from point-blank range. So it's still 0-0. But at this point, I just felt the scripting. I could feel the scripting. As he buries this goal past my keeper in the last minute, I couldn't believe it. I nearly cried. 1-0 up. And unfortunately, that's how the game finished. We got the loss. It felt like a huge sucker blow in the race to try and get promoted. Our next game, looking at the state of our team, we had so many injuries. We're having to play Maguire up front at this point. But we go down the line. We still don't give up. We get wiped out of a carbon copy penalty that I feel like we saw earlier. Of course, we put the keeper on it to try and be fair with the whole Stoke style of play. And we smash it past the keeper. That didn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. Stoke style of play, compromises, penalties. We were trying to do the cross, it counts. But look at this poor defending. We give it away horrifically. And he smashed it past my keeper into the bins to go 1-1. And we draw the game 1-1. And again, at this point, the nails are going into the coffin. It's like, are there enough games left now to even get the points to get promotion? But we don't give up. We kick it long. We get the flick on. That counts. We're through on goal. Are we composed enough to finish though? I believe Sommers. Yes, we are. Good finish. Past the keeper. 1-0 at Derby. Kicking the rebound for the sake of it. From the corner. Who is it? I believe it's Hazard Maguire for 2-0 at Derby. What an absolute legend Maguire is from set pieces. We get the 2-0 win at Derby. We feel like there's hope, but we look at the table. We've got 1 game left and we're 5 points short of the playoffs. So there's nothing to play for at this point other than pride. We're playing Pompey on the last game of the season. Can we end on a high with this series? They go through on goal though with some shoddy defending and shoddy keeping from myself. It's 1-0. We can't lose our final game. You know what we're going to do though. We're going to chip it long to Maguire for the injured flick on. Our classic flick on technique into Mneta, the hero of the series, gets the goal, very fittingly, the last goal of the series, the first goal of the series, a Maguire flick on. We get a 1-1 draw and we get a flick on goal, which was kind of the way we got points in this series. Unfortunately, we didn't come in the playoffs, but we finished 8th. I'll probably do this again in FC26 if you're up for it. We haven't quite achieved it this time round, but hopefully next time round we can get promotion with the Stoke style of play. Thanks for watching.